Yes, folks, it is awesome. Welcome back. I hope you noticed some changes to the office. I've added some lights, added a few more things. Yes, this is the housecoat chat. I got my little friend Doug from the movie Up. Great movie, folks. I never ever cried so much in a cartoon because of that movie. That was a great movie. Yes, folks, let's just show off a few of the new things. Yes, peeps, this is something my wife here has made. Nice little mushroom light on a slab of wood with some moss. We'll try and put Dougie up a little higher or whatever. But yes, I moved the flags around. I decided to show off a few extra things, call it prized possessions or whatever. I met an old baseball player, Norman. I will have to pull that card up, but he is from the LA Dodgers back in the 70s. I was a young lad who had the luck and I guess to meet him because of a bed and breakfast, and he liked fishing. The Crow's Nest River is a world-class trout fishing river. If you have not been down that way and fished, I highly recommend it. Cutthroat, brown trout, and rainbow, folks. There is a host of them. Couple more paintings from my wife, one above there, one below. One of my oldest collections of hockey pins when the team was only 7 times 3, 24 teams, I believe, at that time before the expansion. That's Anaheim and, a few other, San Jose and stuff. And I also have here a signed Stanley Cup puck from Lanny McDonald. Is kind of blocked by the sticker. I will make a little bit of changes with that down the road. This hat that's in this display case is from basically 2010 or 2009, just before the Olympics in 2010. And it was a training camp hosted in Calgary at Lynx Ridge Golf Course, which happens to have my father working at, my papa. And he was kind enough to get a whole whack of signatures from people that were trying out for the Olympic team in Canada. Shout out to everybody that was involved. Thank you for Olympic gold. There are two Jerome McGinley stickers, or signatures, not stickers, sorry, and a couple others. Robin Regier. Oh my goodness, there are so many. I do believe Sidney Crosby is on there. And I would have to definitely get a person to actually verify all the signatures. And who knows, that hat, if somebody is willing to buy it for me, the starting price is $1 million. That's right. I know it's a high number, but I value that hat. My dad worked at the golf course, and look and hold and behold, I now owner of this hat. There is a old fossil there, a megalodon tooth there that is attached to a rock, and a Alaskan brown bear skull. I did not hunt it. It's been with my family for a long time. Long story short, it's basically mine because nobody else basically asked for it, and I took it with me. And a few of my books that are listed in there. I do like poker. I love Hunter S. Thompson, Sidney A. Poitier, the actor's autobiography, Measure of a Man, is an awesome book. There's also a little bit of conspiracy books in there. I believe I have The Mushroom and the Cross, how a mushroom fertility cult gave rise to Christianity. It is a wonderful read, lots of big words, and yes, I pulled out the dictionary. That author is the same author that basically decoded the Dead Sea Scrolls, so it is a fascinating read and a hard book to find, and I'm happy to have it. And folks, like I said, a couple of paintings from my wife. I moved the flags around a bit. Yes, I am a flamer. I moved the F. Trudeau flag over here. It's kind of the right way, but you know what, folks? We need that man out of office. I mean, seriously, he is so out of touch, folks. So out of touch. And yes, I am the fringe minority he speaks of. He He's just who he is. He is a WF puppet. He is a Davos darling, and he is in control of the lower town elites of Quebec, folks. That is my opinion. There is so much stuff that goes on with that man that, I'm surprised he is in power, but when you pay off the media, you have social influencers being paid with our tax dollars, folks, our money. Yes, our money. Excuse me. So I'm hoping you like the lights, folks. The lights changed colors. I kind of like this color at the moment. And they do flash on and off. I got a remote with a bunch of different buttons on it, but I'm just trying to keep it simple. Yes, I know my artistic skills. You could see that I'm not exactly perfect or whatever. And yes, over here, just because I'm stepping out of the way. That little dude up there is kind of me, even though there's no chin hair. I do have long hair, folks. It is in a ponytail and tucked away because I'm trying to look a wee bit presentable. The hat is on to help with the headphones. Yes, and remember, folks, I am hard of hearing. Got Bell's palsy, got the arthritis in the jaw. It slightly hurts at the moment, and all my aches and pains pretty much from here up are just through the roof. Down below, it is fine. Every day is different, and I am just taking life as I can. Now, before I ramble on some more, let's just go on and talk about some things, folks. Free the Coots 4 after yesterday, listening to a fellow on X Twitter. I will get names down and I will do these things, I promise. But as I said, I am a work in progress and I am going to hopefully get better and better. And as I get better, I hope more of you follow me and listen and hopefully share. Get a housecoat army, folks, because you know what? You get up in the day, you watch the news, you're in your housecoat, you're drinking your coffee. You're already mad. That's me, folks. I'm the housecoat, and I'm a little bit angry. But free the Coots 4. Yes, these people have been in jail for longer than 700 days. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been wasted and used to help them with their pretrial custody of bail issues. Yes, 700 days, folks, and they're still in custody. Innocent until proven guilty. And if they are guilty, the trial would be over. That is my opinion because they made them out to be the boogeyman, the bad people, and yes, they had a weapons catch or whatever. All these things are evidence, so to speak, and only a trial would try and solve the issue. But these people have been locked up far too long, considering that they just released a violent sexual offender as a warning to people in Edmonton to stay away from the individual. But four men who were at a protest at the border somehow get accused of being cop killers and a host of other things. Now, they could be and they could not be. That is not my whole point. You don't have to like the Freedom Convoy. You don't have to like what happened. You can be a supporter of the Emergency Use Act. You can do all those things. But the thing that you will have to agree with me on is 700 days of pre-trial detention is horrible, wrong, and it's lawfare. Even if you don't like what they did, you would probably want a speedy trial just to have the convictions, right? So we need to put pressure where the pressure is needed. Contact your MLA, your MP, the Alberta Justice Minister, the Alberta lawyers, whatever, even the law associations, folks. Yes, the law associations. You need to speak to the Justice Minister in Canada, and I hopefully will be doing the same thing, folks. But I am speaking out and trying to raise awareness. So, yes, let's free the Coots 4, folks. And by free, I mean get them out of pretrial detention and so they can get a trial and let's get this moving. It is too long. Too long, folks, just like the poor girl that was murdered by the Syrian refugee shortly before Trudeau says if any refugee harms a Canadian, he is personally responsible. That trial was over late last year or whatever it was. It was just in the recent past. And folks, that was a travesty. And I feel for the family of the girl that was murdered. That trial should not have taken that long. I don't know how they feel. I know how I would feel. And yes, let's get these people out of these pre-trial detentions so that they can mount a defense whether they're innocent or guilty, folks. They have the right of innocence. And if they actually did shoot at a cop, I would have a slightly different feeling at the moment. But the fact that no actual violence took place, other than shenanigans by the RCMP sabotaging equipment, they sabotaged heavy equipment. David Johnston apparently has done some nefarious things to these Coots 4. I'm not going to get into details. The information is out there, folks. Type in hashtag Coots4 on X, Twitter, even YouTube. Maybe you show something, I don't know, but check it out and research, people. Don't just always take my word for it or anybody else's or CBC. Think for yourself. Now, as you can see, I'm going to talk to about no to the WEF. These are unelected people that are trying to control our lives while they live high on the hog. Right? We could go back to that book, Animal Farm by George Orwell. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. That is the basis of WEF, and it needs to go, folks. Unelected people shouldn't be telling us what to do and how to live our lives. I know the tide is turning, I could feel it, and I think we need to continue. Now to the UN. Yes, folks, the UN is a corrupt institution. I mean, if China and Saudi Arabia are on the human rights thing, that is wow. Wow. I mean, here in North America, we are not perfect. I am not going to discuss George Floyd's situation. That was a travesty of miscarriage of a host of everything. And I say a host of everything because the media failed, the justice system failed, and people in general failed. Yes, they did, folks. The United Nations stuff has got to go. This who has got to go? The World Health Organization has got to go. We in Canada are about to have our elected officials vote for a pandemic treaty which will allow the UN and the WHO, backed by the WEF and a host of other NGOs, to make our life miserable by saying that there's a climate crisis. Justin Trudeau has stated he wanted that language included in the pandemic treaty. The insanity of everything that you see and hearing, you need to wake up. You want to lose sovereignty in this country to an outside influence that has vaguely worded language to tell you what the pandemic may be. Whether it is a virus, whether it is climate change, whatever the issue they may have, they will try and force us to do something that we don't want to do. And guess what that is, folks? Losing your personal sovereignty. It is not just your national sovereignty, it is your personal sovereignty. This group right here, this group here, and this group here want to force you to take medicine that you don't need. You know, you just don't need it. We don't need all this mRNA technology shoved down our throats before they properly vet it and make it worthwhile. If you have not watched Tucker Carlson discussing the issue with Brett Weinstein, I highly recommend you go find that on X, Twitter, wherever, YouTube, Rumble, and watch him discuss issues with Brett Weinstein. If that doesn't make you think and open up your eyes, holy smokes, what can I tell you, peep? You need a head shake, and a head shake. Yes, folks, no. Our personal sovereignty is about to be given up by our elected officials, Justin Trudeau, Chrystia Freeland, and down. And maybe even Pierre Poilievre. Who knows? The Uniparty is strong in Canada, folks. I do like Maxime Bernier, but you need a seat in the House, man. You need a seat in the House. And folks, we need to change this country. And the only people that can change this country, me and you. That's it, folks. We have to get in our MP and MLA faces and we have to start saying enough is enough. We want sanity back, folks. We want sanity. Yes, we want common sense. I know I'm using a phrase from Pierre Poilievre. I'm not trying to say I'm a big PP supporter. All I'm saying is that things need to change. I do not care for parties at all, folks. I vote for the candidate in my riding that best represents my interests when I have an election. coming around in my way, whether it's federal, whether it's municipal, whether it's provincial. These things I look at. I don't look at it as a party aspect, NDP, liberal, or progressive. When I was younger, I was a big supporter of the NDP. Beautiful concept, but guess what? Ed Broadbent and Jack Layton are dead, and we are so stuck with sellout Singh. Yes, sellout Singh. You know, he is horrible. He is trying to be what? The next prime minister? You will never be prime minister of Canada. Heck, you probably won't even be a president of your own association of the people you hang out with. I mean, seriously, Jagmeet, you are nothing but a succubus on the great country of Canada. Yes, succubus. You know it, I know it. You are destroying Canada for what? You're a wuffer. We know it and you know it. You need to get out of the way and let people that care about this country take over. You're constant rattling on about, oh, grocery store CEOs. Well, guess what, Jagmeet? How about your Pfizer buddies, huh? How about your Moderna buddies? Oh, all those guys in the pharmaceutical industry making money hand over fist with my tax dollars that you're wasting away along with Justin Trudeau. This is insane and it's crazy. And guess what? We need to fix it, folks. We need to fix it. All this talk, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here because, heck, it is on my mind. The uniparty thing is real. Why is it real, folks? This is my opinion, and I hope you listen to it. The reason you're hearing Pierre Poilievre saying that he supports the level of immigration coming into this country is one minor part, and I will say it is factually true. If you listen to Peter Zyham, like I have, and a host of other people that are similar to him, talking geopolitics around the world on the great old internet, yes, we have an aging demographics and we need more people to come in to help fill in the job because the aging demographics is getting older and we don't have the skills coming in. But what are we bringing in, folks? What are we bringing in? We aren't bringing in the best and the brightest. No, we're not. I mean, if you go look at Toronto or Ontario and you look at their crime board, wow, it is almost exclusive, and this is just my opinion, of people that are new to this country, trying to take advantage of things because where they were, the riches are not there anymore, so they come to Canada. The CCFR showed off videos of people trying to break into homes. You know what I have to say about all that? I think everybody should have the right to have a gun for protection. That is right, folks, a gun for protection. It doesn't mean that you keep it by your door or whatever and you shoot everybody that comes across your lawn. But if your life is threatened and somebody's coming to your door with force, you should be able to respond in force. The lady that died in Ontario because the cops failed to show up on a domestic dispute, guess what? If she had a little Beretta, even if it was a 22 and she shot the knees of the guy that was her husband, whatever it was, she may be alive today. And that, folks, is on the feet of the people that failed to save her life and respond to that issue. She should have a right to defend herself, right? I truly believe it. And somewhere in the States, I just read it, and I'm going to say Connecticut. I don't believe it's Connecticut, so don't quote me. But what I can quote you on is the fact that they just allowed people to start packing and carrying firearms, and crime has gone down, folks, down. And you know, if you're a criminal and you want to rob somebody, you're going to think twice now because that person might have a gun too. The person that's the coward that's committing crimes with the firearm is only using it as an intimidation factor to get you to give up what you worked hard for to him. But if you can point back at him like Dirty Harry and say, "Do you feel lucky, punk? Do you? Did I fire 5 shots or did I fire 6? Do you feel lucky?" Because that's the way we need to go back in order to fix society. The RCMP cannot save us. That is the most grievous thing that I can think of in this country at the moment, along with the neglect of our armed forces by our ministers in charge. Horrendous, horrendous. I am on a rant here, folks. The other issues that are going on is that they also said nobody from the government is going to WF this year, yet Chrystia Freeland is a keynote speaker. She is a board member, and we need to have these type of people not in our office, folks. Why are the NGOs of the world siphoning our tax-paying dollars to other parts of this world? Other parts. Why is all the money going everywhere but back into our pockets to help us? The carbon tax rebate is a sham. I'm on disability. I live in British Columbia. I complain about it all the time on X. And people saying, oh, you must make too much money. That's not the issue here, folks. The fact that I'm paying a tax on a tax on a tax. Up from landfill, from seed to landfill, every step of the way, from the planting, the growing, to harvesting, to the processing of the material, to the shipment, to where it goes to the grocery store, to finally you. That carbon tax has been added from the seed all the way out. That's why we're seeing price increases that are going, holy smokes. And I love saying holy smokes. Right, folks? It is just a nut, nut, nut. It is nuts. And oh, yes, the house coat shot. And yes, there's a couple of drumsticks there. I am a drummer. Hopefully, I will try and do a video with me playing the drums on a silly song. Health-wise, I don't really play all that much anymore. In fact, I haven't played in a very long time. The issue for me is when I hop onto the drum set, my groin becomes weak and tired and tense. And just that muscles in that area, it is weird. I know I got a host of health issues from my Bell's palsy to arthritis to the spine, diverticulosis, and a few other things. I'm not trying to whine. I'm not trying to ask for your sympathy. All I do ask is that you have a little respect and be mindful that, yes, I have a speaking problem. And who cares if you want to trash me online? You could troll me, do whatever, make the bad comments, because the only thing that does for you, it makes you angrier than you should be, or whatever it may be. If you don't like how I talk or how I say things, move along. That's it, and I don't like people. I try not to trash them, whatever. It is what it is. I do what I do. Yes, let's get back and do a bit of a recap here, folks. Free the Coots for. Please speak up. Even if you are not, a freedom convoy person, you have to admit that 700 days in pretrial custody is wrong. When we release people based on so-called social stuff. Like, oh, the judge has to look at the background of the criminal, not the actual file of his criminality, but did he have a bad upbringing? Did he have drugs, alcohol, right? Whatever. Was he abused as a child? Versus he has a litany of charges, sir. He tried to stomp on a pregnant woman. Oh, we'll release him because, he had daddy issues back in the day. It's wrong. You know what? Free the Coots for, let the trial go. It should be over by now. They're guilty or innocent. That's the way I look at it. Say no, no, no to the WF, the United Nations, and WHO. That pandemic treaty is coming up, folks, and let me stress this very importantly. Contact your MP. Contact the Prime Minister. Contact Leslie Lewis on the Conservative Party. She is a big one trying to push all this to say no. We need to say no. I don't want an outside person from outside the country telling me that I can't leave my house because it's a half a degree higher than normal. All this insanity is just driving us deeper and deeper into an idiocracy. An idiocracy, yes, they are intentionally dumbing us down with the rhetorics and the speaking. Aren't you tired of Christina Freeland going, Mr. Speaker, let me be perfectly clear? Shush! Holy smokes! That person, the way she has been talking the last couple of years, does not deserve to be in politics. Neither does Justin Trudeau with the way he speaks. It is just atrocious. Atrocious. I know politics is always one movement to the next and always trying to gather votes and trying to say the right thing. But at the end of the day, I miss people like Ralph Klein. I miss people like Stephen Harper. I even miss Donald Trump, even if he's on the American side. I miss mean tweets, cheap gas, and no wars. Right, folks? There were no wars under him. And don't get me started. Oh, yes, he fired off a few things. He didn't start a war. Do you look? He did not start a war. He didn't want a war. And what does he have to say about all the current conflicts that are kind of going on, especially Russia and Ukraine? He wants the dying to stop. And the press, yes, listen here, press, stop trying to do the gotcha question. Stop trying to make a narrative. Ask important questions that people want to hear. We don't need to have you rattling off onto some sports guy asking his opinion on gays and transgender. You know, I just listened to that Strickland fellow on the mixed martial arts. I think he's spot on. I think he pointed out the problem. And if you haven't heard Strickland's mixed martial arts rant thing that he did for an interview, it is all over X. It is trending on X. And check it out. That man is, I love him. I followed him immediately after he did that. And yes. Well, folks, I have rattled off a lot here. I am going to be probably trying to attempt to post this video up later. Hopefully you all check it out. And yeah, what can I say? This is the housecoat chat. I'm going to try and do housecoat rants, which are going to be shorter and a little hopefully funny, but it's going to hopefully make you think and hopefully make you want to do something to help out and change the way things are. Because in Canada, folks, we need to do a little bit of wake up and take a 15 minutes out of our day or out of a week or even just a month, even 1 month at 15 minutes. If you can write your MP or even talk to your MP, even just calling and be polite, be civil, and be blunt, right? Tell them you don't like what's going on with the WF business in Canada, the pandemic treaty, the WHO thing. Yes, tell them no, we don't want it, or you're going to go out the door. And I think we need to do that. I think we as citizens need to start telling our politicians if they don't do what we insist on them doing because we elected them, that they should be shown the door. I almost have the opinion that this election might be the last election that Canada has of great importance. And I know I talked about the Uniparty. I still think Pierre Poilievre is part of the Uni thing. But back to what I've almost forgot, back to the yes, immigration thing. I think that Pierre, and I'm sorry about this, but I'm going to get better at this show. Pierre may be saying the things that he is saying to avoid the bought off Judas presses that the Liberal government is paid to cover stories, right? These people are paid now and bought off that if Pierre PP says immigration levels should go down. We should not stop having people come here. We should stop it, stop it, stop it. Once he starts saying that, the media is going to try and hammer him on being anti-immigrant, racist, and a whole host of things. I think Pierre is trying to say those things that he is saying at the current moment to keep the peace with the press so that they don't try and hammer him on being anti-immigrant and racist, and all those other tropes that they will throw his way. Yes, folks, it's almost time for me to end this video. Clipchamp only allows me roughly a half an hour. When I gain more knowledge and when I start getting better at these things, hopefully things will be longer and I'll have a show and I'm learning and hopefully I'll have chat groups, whatever. But folks, let's remember positive vibes. Let's keep this world going forward in a better motion, right? Positive vibes, folks. Free the Coots 4. Yes, let's help out the Coots 4. And no, no, no to the WEF, UN, and WHO. Yes, folks, get the house coat on, do a little bit of writing, phoning, and let's make this world a better place. Yes, let's do it. Thank you, and this is the truth, and may justice serve you well in life.